Imagine booking your dream vacation, only to find out your flight might be delayed by hours because of a rocket launch. That's the new dilemma facing Florida air travelers as SpaceX's colossal Starship Super Heavy launches from Kennedy Space Center. Could soon reroute or delay commercial airline traffic for up to 2 hours at a time. And here's where things get even more interesting. This isn't just speculation. It's what the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, itself is projecting. SpaceX is currently looking to secure FAA approval to launch and land as many as 44 Starships and their massive Super Heavy boosters every year from historic Pad 39A. With each mission, the FAA would temporarily close vast swathes of airspace to protect both travelers and crew, which could mean serious ground stops at major Florida airports like Tampa, Orlando, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood. John Tiliakos, Tampa International Airport's chief operating officer, didn't mince words at a recent FAA public meeting. There's the potential for significant disruptions to commercial aviation and tens of thousands of travelers. The FAA really needs to figure out a practical solution for minimizing this impact. During this 2-hour virtual town hall, Tiliakos and nearly 24 others emphasized their concerns, many of them calling for the FAA to craft a solid plan to address the unprecedented airspace closures and keep the flying public in the loop. Let's break down what's on the table. Up to 44 Starship Super Heavy launches each year at Pad 39A. Up to 44 Super Heavy booster landings annually, either back at Pad 39A, on a SpaceX drone ship in the Atlantic, or being expended at sea. Up to 44 Starship landings, again, possibly at Pad 39A, on a drone ship, or even as far away as the Pacific or Indian Oceans. The numbers are staggering. During launch windows, these temporary hazard zones could ground flights for 40 minutes to as long as 2 hours, especially during travel rushes, affecting between 133 and 400 commercial flights. And re-entries? Those could impact 400 to 600 flights at a time, with delays lasting from 40 minutes to an hour. Here's the part most travelers don't realize. Unlike Falcon 9 launches, which already occur frequently from Cape Canaveral with manageable airspace restrictions, Starship's much larger keep-out zones would blanket portions of the Atlantic, Caribbean, and even the Bahamas. More complex still, Starship's global re-entries could prompt airspace shutdowns across parts of the Pacific, Gulf of Mexico, and even airspace above Central American countries. According to a narrator in an FAA explainer video, these closure areas aren't set in stone. Airspace closures will evolve with launch history and reliability records. The more predictable the vehicle, the smaller these restricted zones might become. But they could also grow with every mishap. Let's pause and highlight a hotly debated issue. Should the exploration of space come at the expense of commercial air travelers' convenience and possibly airline profitability? For example, Steve Jangelis, Aviation Safety Chair of the Airline Pilots Association, representing more than 78,000 pilots, insists SpaceX should be transparent by publishing detailed debris maps from previous flights gone awry. He didn't equivocate. SpaceX, a for-profit operation, stands to harm other for-profit businesses through these repeated disruptions. From an environmental angle, ALPA's June 2024 letter to the FAA demanded a comprehensive study. Their concerns? Everything from longer, less direct flight routes to increased fuel burn, carbon emissions, and cascading effects on connecting airports. The FAA's own 410-page Starship Impact Report promises to manage all this with advanced communication, coordinated scheduling, and dynamic rerouting. But will these measures truly be enough? Plenty of local aviation insiders are watching closely. Greg Donovan, executive director at Melbourne Orlando International Airport, reports 0 delays or restrictions from any launches so far, citing his airport's proximity to the Atlantic and relatively clear skies, unlike the heavy congestion at Orlando International. But as previous Starship flights have shown, One test scattered debris and caused major delays at several Florida airports. The risk is real, especially as SpaceX ramps up the cadence. Now, here's the controversial twist. Space fans and frequent flyers might see this as a classic clash between progress and practicality. Is it fair for historic, cutting-edge launches, boasting America's presence in the space industry, to regularly interrupt the travel plans of thousands? Or is it a necessary inconvenience on the road to Mars and beyond? What do you think? Should rocket launches be given priority over airline schedules? Or does commercial aviation deserve top billing in Florida's crowded skies? Sound off below. Do you agree with tighter restrictions on SpaceX? Or is this just part of a bold future we should embrace?